Good afternoon, you're watching Audiotree Live. Today is Friday, March 17th, 2017, and we're honored to have with us in the studio, Monica LaPlante.
The
You're watching Audiotree Live with Monica LaPlante. Thank you guys so much for being here. You sound great.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. So your EP Noir came out this past Halloween, about 3 years after the first EP that you put out. And I'm wondering, how would you describe, your journey between when you were first putting out records under Monica LaPlante and now?
When I first started I got a weird echo. When I first started recording, I was still in school, and I went to school for songwriting.
Yeah.
So I feel like my first album is a lot more by the book.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of following rules, making sure every syllable is in order, making sure everything lines up. And I feel like Noir is me just breaking those rules or just bending them a little bit that everything still works out.
Yeah. They say, like, if you go to art school, making art kind of changes because you want to, like, listen to what your teachers are saying and whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, it's awesome to, like, step away from that. And
it's good to get a little of both worlds in
there. Yeah, to, like, learn how to do it.
And how to break the rules.
Exactly. Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm wondering, like, when you started, were you writing completely solo? Were you, like, playing shows by yourself as well?
When I started, so I was in school, then I got an internship at a recording studio, and I was just working as, like, the manager's assistant to the manager. And they didn't even know I wrote songs. And slowly but surely, I kind of snuck one in there, and they're just like, oh, this is great. Well, we're just going to keep working with you. And then we started recording my stuff, and then they started, like, finding a band. These guys all slowly came into the picture.
Very nice.
Noah, the manager, he was friends with Rory. They went to school together. He also, like, went to the same high school as Austin, our drummer.
Oh, wow.
And, we just kind of found Chris.
A beautiful journey.
Yeah, so it's kind of slowly come together just around working, interning at a recording studio in Minneapolis.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And so do you have plans for putting out a full length?
Oh, yeah. We're already starting to record it now. We're going up to, like, Benton Harbor, Michigan. So just across the lake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know geography that well.
Also, I get a lot of, like, retro vibes from your music, and I'm wondering if we can go around the room and say, if you could pick any decade to go back in time and be a part of, what would it be?
1970s.
Great answer. Sure. Rory?
I'd have to go 70s, too.
Okay.
I love the 70s.
Across the board.
Yeah. Rory's got the mustache for the 70s.
The chops.
Oh, yeah.
60s or 70s.
Yeah.
I feel like if you'd asked me a long time ago, I might have said like 60s, like songwriters and stuff. But now I'm like more into 80s stuff.
Yeah. There's some gems in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. So.
Like early 80s or late 80s?
Yeah, like 81, 82.
Yeah. What makes you say that?
Just like a lot of like power pop sounding stuff that I'm like really into from that time.
Yeah.
Like Cars and Pretenders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw the Pretenders, and it was, like, phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's still killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you say 70s, Monica? What's your main reason?
I just like that whole television dead guitar sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very, very dry, very clean. Television, Patti Smith, and just, all of those singer-songwriters that were in the 60s, like, writing all the by-the-book tunes and all the hits. They were still hanging out, too. Like, Harry Nilsson's still doing stuff. John Lennon's still doing stuff. Paul McCartney's doing his Wings. McCartney 1 and 2 era.
Yeah, still killing it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. You guys can go into the next song whenever you're ready. Audiotree Live with Monica LaPlante. So, Monica, I read somewhere that one of the first guitar projects that you were involved in was covering Evanescence songs with your friends.
Who told you that? Wait,
I
did
read
I
it
say
somewhere.
that?
Yeah.
I said that somewhere.
Yeah, which is fine. I was going to say, I loved Evanescence growing up, and I still do. And there are people out there that try and make me feel bad about that, you know? And so I guess if I had a guilty pleasure, that's what it would be. So I'm wondering what your guys' guilty pleasure bands are.
Oh, I think it came out on the ride here. I was seriously into Counting Crows, and I don't know if that's.
They're good.
They're really good. They have a couple records that like are awesome. Yeah, I think that's like. I feel pretty good about
Yeah.
that. We heard us round here come on the radio, and I was singing
Cheer
along.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was singing along. It was good.
Did you, not to really throw you under the bus, Chris, but
Yeah.
didn't you also have Big Willie style?
Yes, I also
Will
had
Smith?
Big Willie style. We went through all the hits on that one.
Yeah.
Lots of, I think I said Welcome to Miami was a big one off that.
Yes.
We felt really good about that.
Those are both good answers.
Yeah.
Rory?
Oh man, well, we were just looking outside and saw the poster from Country Grammar,
Yeah.
and that album is loaded with bangers. I love that album.
Seriously.
Yep.
When I was in 5th grade, like I had a picture of Nelly on my desk at school. That's like how much I praised
It's a
him.
heartthrob.
Yeah. Love
He's
that
keeping
man.
it tight too.
Yeah.
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 I guess for me, it's kind of a toss-up. My number one, I think, would be Usher. Either it's between Usher and Bare Naked Ladies. I had a big.
They're kind of the same.
Well,
Bare
I was
Naked
into them at
Ladies.
different times, but yeah, I mean,
I didn't
B&O.
the Stunt album, Maroon, those are classics.
Yeah. We listen to it like in the office that I work at, in my day job. We listen to a lot of Counting Crows and a lot of Bare Naked Ladies. So, no shame.
Pretty good stuff.
No shame.
There's also an emo band that practices above us, and they were practicing Helena by My
yeah.
Chemical Romance.
A classic.
And turns out I still know all the words to
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I didn't mean to make Evanescence your answer for guilty pleasures. What would you say aside from MCR?
Aside from MCR, aside from Evanescence, I listen to a lot of garbage music.
Yeah.
I also really like Van Hagar, as in when David Lee Roth left Van Halen and Sammy Hagar
Oh,
joined.
yeah. Okay.
That was a good one. And Kenny Loggins.
Sweet. All great answers across
I
the
don't.
board here.
I'm
Okay,
not
good.
guilty about any
yeah.
of them, though.
I don't.
So.
That's why I say I don't really believe in guilty pleasures. I think everyone should just like believe in what they listen to. Yeah. Also, you guys being from, I'm going to switch gears here. Being from Minneapolis, what is your favorite thing about being Midwest musicians? Would you say?
I really like. So we're kind of isolated in a few ways, which I think really develops a really strong local scene. So we have a lot of friends, a lot of rad bands that we play with on a regular basis in the Twin Cities that a lot of people don't know about, but there's so many killer bands there that are just awesome.
Yeah.
So that's like, I think my favorite thing about being in the Midwest and kind of having to make, if you want something, kind of having to make it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like that everybody that wants you to work with them name drops Prince or the Jayhawks or the Replacements.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a weird thing. They're like, yeah, I worked with Prince. And you're like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. Someone's family member, like,
Right.
what played in that band at some point,
Right.
so you can brag about that stuff.
Yeah. Well, great. You guys can roll in the last two when you're ready.
Sure. Every time I go out, you wanna cry about being alone. I can't go any place with your crabby face.
Audiotree Live with Monica LaPlante. Thanks again so much, you guys, for being here. Thanks to everyone in the studio and the sound engineers, the camera and lighting crew, and to the viewers for watching. You can pick up Monica LaPlante's latest EP, Noir, on Hollander Records. Also, if you're in the Chicago area, you can see them tonight at Kohl's with Jollies, American Breakfast, and Vacuum. You can also see them tomorrow at Bric-a-Brac Records with Peach Fuzz. From everyone here at Audiotree, thanks for tuning in.
Sean, you did a great job.
Thank you very much, everybody.